Hey you guys. I really gotta work on these intros. But anyway, this is gonna be a continuation, a part two to the last video where I wore this shirt. I had to. I'm really enjoying this shirt, and I just thought it might be kind of funny to, I don't know, carry on and start a tradition with this topic of shyness and social anxiety, or shyness and social anxiety, this side, that side. I remember that I used those directions to describe, explain those words in that order. Anyway, does that make sense? Possibly and probably not. So, plus maybe it's going to be easier to find part two if I'm wearing like the same thing as part one. Anyway, so yeah, I have some more thoughts I wanted to add and share and relate to part one. And this is still, and I have a very loud house. There's little kids. My mom's on the phone. I live at home, so you just gotta enjoy the chaos and accept it as it is. But anyway, so yeah, I've just been pondering and analyzing this topic, and I reflect on this topic sometimes because I find it interesting. And I do have two items to share. So, just two main topics regarding the overall theme of shyness and social anxiety. So, last time I didn't use notes, I was just off the top of my head, just whatever came out of my mouth came out of my mouth, and it was just on the spot. Pretty random. That's why it was all over the place, but this time there will be more order to it, and it will be more shyness versus social anxiety instead of more so my own personal experiences and stories regarding those two things. So, shyness, the personality trait, and social anxiety, the disorder. So, you can't really control or choose or change either of those things. So, your personality and an illness, you don't really have a say in those things. You can be fake in who you are and your personality. You can essentially like lie about your traits and be fake, but the goal, I think, for all of us is to be real and raw and authentic, I guess is the word. And you just want to be yourself and you want to share yourself with the world. And if you're fake, you're not really being yourself and you're changing your personality and who you are. You're changing essentially your spirit and how you come across. And when you're shy, you can be quiet, reserved, and also if you're shy, anyway, also if you're shy. Thanks, and I'm doing a thing right now in my room. Okay, sure. Anyway, so just the topic at hand with the shyness thing. So basically, with that, you might not really choose to be shy, and your shyness can stem from or come from social anxiety or anxiety of any sort. And shyness, you can get easily embarrassed. You don't want to be put on the spot. You don't want attention or the limelight on you. Those can be some traits within a shy personality. And I've had shy friends. I've been shy myself for most of my life. And I kind of grew out of that and taught myself to change and to be myself. And if you're shy, it doesn't mean that you're not being yourself. It can sometimes. You might have to warm up, or that's just how you stay your whole entire life, and that's just how you come across. And shyness isn't a bad thing at all. I don't think a personality trait can really be bad. It just kind of is. And if you're shy, it might be seen as bad. You might feel judged. You might be asked the question all the time, or at least I was asked this question like 24/7, it felt like. But just like, and I hope this isn't as long as part one. But anyway, like, why are you so quiet, And it's awkward. It's uncomfortable. It's like being called thin. It's like being called anorexic if you're not. It's like if you're called anything, any name, any label, put in a box. It's not right. It's not fair. It's not kind. And you're judged, and it's not really appropriate, And if you're anorexic or not, people shouldn't be calling you those things. It can be a struggle either way. If you're made fun of for something you're not, if you're made fun of for something that you go through. So that's a whole other thing. But just with the shyness, it's more a personality trait, and it can come from social anxiety, but not always. It's just how you are, it's just that is what it is. So you don't really have power or control over your personality. You can tweak things, grow out of things, change yourself. You can morph into a different version of you, and everybody's going to change over time. And they say, oh, never change, just don't, just stay you, be yourself, stay your awesome, amazing self forever. And that's great, that's all good. But change and growth is really good for you, it's healthy for you, and it's going to inspire others to improve upon themselves. Hopefully you change in a great way, in a good way, you advance, you build upon yourself and your skills and who you are, you grow, you learn, you change, you morph into a more amazing version of yourself, and personality can really go into that. And then the other thing, how did I phrase it? Social anxiety is a disorder. So why would anybody pick social anxiety to deal with? And it just is. It's an illness. It's something in your brain that is hard to turn off and just turns on randomly. And with social anxiety, it makes social interaction very hard. There was a time where I was very extroverted and my social anxiety just so happened to be less than. Not saying that if you're extroverted doesn't mean that you can't have severe anxiety around other people. But that was just my personal experience, and I think COVID and just me being me and with the illnesses that I have, I think that can really grow, especially at this time. It can really grow the anxiety that I have around other people through interaction, conversation, just everyday communication, So you can't choose or change when it comes to things like an illness. And it is. It sadly enough just is. It exists and you live with it, and it's hard to grow out of and change. You can improve upon it. You can do all kinds of things. Meds, that's what I do. I've done counseling in the past. So those two things have really, really helped me. And just take breaks. And I don't want this to be like a really deep type of vlog or whatever, but that's just something I want to throw out there and say. So, okay, thought number 2, and then I'll let you go and I'll get going. So it's not cute and it's hard. So if you're shy, if you have social anxiety, and I've had both, and I still have social anxiety and I still can be shy. But anyway, it's not cute, and I would get that all the time. Like if I stuttered, if I was nervous, if I was anxious, and I'd slip up and stammer, my speech was really hard. Or even if I didn't, even if I was comfortable around the other person or the group, I would still slip up and stammer, and it was just so embarrassing. My face would turn red, I would just stop talking, and I just felt so judged, So with me, there's not really a pattern, but I think the stutter can really come out and manifest itself if and when I'm extremely anxious around other people. But it's not cute, and I would be told like my stutter's cute. I would be told I'm cute when my face turns red, and I don't really see those things as compliments because I'm anxious, and they call something that's very hard for me every single day. It's hard to live and breathe with anxiety, and it's hard for people to call it cute. It's something challenging. It's an illness. Why would you call an illness cute? So it's things like that. And the shy one in the group of friends, with a group of people who I've been before, them being called cute because they're shy, it might make them feel awkward and uncomfortable or feel even more shy. They might not want to be shy, but that's just how they are. They might feel really judged for it. They might want to change that part about themselves. That's how I was. I wasn't happy because I knew that I wasn't being myself. That was my type of shy personality. It was where I wasn't comfortable being myself. Some people, that's just how they are. They are just shy, but I was shy because of the social anxiety. I was shy because of the stutter. That's why my personality was that way for so long. But it's really not cute. It's really not. It is anxiety. It's an illness. It's a disorder. And it's not something that you order. You don't want it. You don't want to live that way. You don't want to live with that kind of brain. to be called cute is just a bit much, you know? Like, if I blush and somebody says it's cute, like, that's not the worst thing in the world, but it's more when I stutter, it's more when I'm feeling very anxious and they see it as cute. That's when it really, really gets to me and it bothers me, you know? So it's just something to consider. If you comment on that, I would hope that you stop, you know, because it's embarrassing for the other person. They might not like that part about themselves. Some people can really accept their being shy or their disorders like anxiety, and those two things were and still are very hard for me to accept and be okay with. So it's just kind of a personal preference for me for people not to make such remarks as those. But anyway, that was the topic, and that was what I wanted to say. So, you are beautiful and loved no matter your personality type, extroverted, introverted, shy, not, quiet, loud, you know, whoever you are, just be yourself, stay yourself. If you want to change, you can always change, but just remember to be your real personality, whatever that is. And you always have the power to change. Change can be for good, and that's what I really believe. If you have social anxiety or any other form, any other type of anxiety, I would hope that you know it's okay to have those feelings, and it's also especially okay to get help for them. You can talk to family and friends, counselors, you can get help, you can take meds for it, you can find a good fit that way. It took a long time for me to find a good fit. And things will all be okay and work out, and anxiety doesn't define you. Whatever illness you have, whether you see it, whether it's internal, no matter what kind of illness you go through on the day-to-day or every now and again, it's going to be okay, and it doesn't define you. It's not who you are. Your personality is who you are, and your actions, your behavior, your soul is who you are. So that's what